30 days. That's all it took. 30 days to lose everything you've worked for. Your job, your home, your family. This is the story of Michael Davidson, a 47-year-old father from Ohio, who watched his entire life crumble around him. But what happened next? What happened after he hit rock bottom will change the way you think about failure forever. Michael had spent 23 years at Meridian Technologies. 23 years of dedication. 23 years of loyalty. He thought he was irreplaceable. He thought his job was secure. But on a cold Tuesday morning in March, everything changed. His boss called him into the office. "Michael, we're going in a different direction," he said. Those 8 words destroyed decades of hard work. No warning, no severance, just a handshake and a cardboard box. That same week, the medical bills caught up with him. His wife Sarah's cancer treatment had drained their savings. The mortgage payment was 3 months overdue. The bank wasn't forgiving. The foreclosure notice arrived by registered mail. The house on Maple Street wasn't just a building. It was where Michael proposed to Sarah, where they brought home their son, Tommy, from the hospital, where they celebrated every birthday, every Christmas, every family memory. Now it belonged to the bank. Michael tried everything. He applied to 127 jobs in 30 days. 127 applications, 127 rejections, or worse, silence. At 47, he was overqualified, too experienced, too expensive, too old. The foreclosure auction was set for April 15th, day 30, 1 month. That's how quickly everything can fall apart. Sarah tried to stay strong. She really did. But watching her husband break day by day was too much. The stress, the fear, the uncertainty, it poisoned everything. "Michael, we need to think about Tommy," she said. "He needs stability. He needs a home." She moved in with her parents in another state. 300 miles away, just until you get back on your feet, she promised. But they both knew the truth. This wasn't temporary. This was goodbye. Michael stood in the driveway watching his wife and son drive away. Tommy pressed his hand against the car window. Michael did the same. And then they were gone. Day 28. 2 days before he lost the house, he'd already lost his family. The house was empty now, echoes where laughter used to be. Michael sat on the floor, no furniture, no pictures, no memories. Just him and 4 bare walls. He hadn't showered in 3 days. Hadn't eaten much in a week. What was the point? Everything he'd built was gone. 23 years of career, 15 years of marriage, 7 years as a father in that house. All erased in 30 days. He stared at the single light bulb hanging from the ceiling. One flickering bulb in an empty room. That's all he had left. That's all he was worth now. Nothing. He picked up his phone, scrolled through old photos. Sarah smiling on their wedding day, Tommy's first steps, family vacations, all gone, all memories of a life that no longer existed. He thought about giving up, really thought about it. What was the point of continuing? Who would even notice if he stopped? Day 30, the final day. The auction was tomorrow. He had nowhere to go, no one to call, no hope left. The phone rang. 11:47 p.m., day 30, his last night in the house. Tomorrow the bank would take everything. Unknown number. He almost didn't answer. What was the point? More rejection? More bad news? But something made him reach for it. Maybe desperation. Maybe fate. Maybe the smallest spark of hope he didn't even know he still had. He stared at the screen. Unknown caller. His thumb hovered over the answer button. 3 rings. 4 rings. On the 5th ring he answered. "Hello," his voice cracked. He hadn't spoken to anyone in days. And then he heard words that would change everything. "Michael, this is David Chen from Venture Capital Partners. I know it's late, but I got your resume from a friend. I've been trying to reach you for 2 weeks. Michael's heart stopped. I'm sorry, who gave you my number? Doesn't matter. What matters is I've read your file. 23 years at Meridian. You built their entire operations department from the ground up. You saved them $2.3 million in your first year alone. And they let you go." Michael couldn't speak. Someone knew his worth. Someone saw what he'd accomplished. "We're launching a new startup. We need someone with your experience. Someone who's built systems from nothing. Someone who understands crisis management. David paused. Someone who knows what it's like to lose everything and still keep fighting. Michael's eyes filled with tears.
How did you?
My friend told me your story, said you're the hardest worker he's ever known. Michael, I'm not offering you a job. I'm offering you a partnership, equity, a real future. But I need an answer tomorrow. Tomorrow, the day he was supposed to lose his house. The day his life was supposed to end. Instead, it was about to begin again. Michael showered for the first time in days, put on his last clean shirt, drove to the interview. With $47 in his bank, account and everything to prove. David Chen was waiting, young, energetic, but more importantly, he believed in second chances. I don't care about your age. I don't care that you're unemployed. I care that you've survived 23 years in corporate America. I care that you built something from nothing. I care that you're still standing after losing everything. The offer was real, $150,000 a year, plus equity, plus benefits, plus a future. But more than that, David offered something Michael hadn't felt in months. Dignity, respect, belief. One question, David said, "Why should I hire you?" Michael thought about the empty house, the foreclosure notice, his wife and son 300 miles away, the single light bulb in the dark room. "Because I know what it's like to have nothing," he said. "And because I'll work harder than anyone you've ever met to make sure." "I never go back there." David smiled, extended his hand. "Welcome to the team. Day 31. One day after rock bottom, Michael Davidson had a job again. 6 months later, Michael walked into his office every morning with purpose. The startup was thriving. His systems were working. His ideas were valued. He'd paid off the foreclosure, saved the house, started rebuilding his savings. But money wasn't the point. The point was proving to himself that he wasn't finished. That one setback didn't define him. That at 47 he still had value. Every time he walked through those glass doors, he remembered the man who sat in an empty room with one light bulb. And he promised himself he'd never forget what it felt like to have nothing, because that nothing taught him everything. Sarah came home 3 months after Michael started his new job. Not because he asked, not because he demanded, but because she saw the change. The man who'd lost everything had found something. Stronger, resilience, humility, gratitude. Tommy ran into his arms. Sarah held his hand. And for the first time in a year, they were a family again. "I'm proud of you," Sarah said. Not for the job, not for the money, but for not giving up. Michael held them both tight. This was what he'd been fighting for. Not success, not money, not a career. This moment, this love, this family. He'd lost everything in 30 days. But he'd learned something. You can lose your job. You can lose your house. You can lose your savings. But you can never lose your ability to start over. Today, Michael Davidson is 52 years old. He's the CEO of that startup. He's rebuilt his life, his career, his family. But he keeps one thing on his desk, a photograph of that empty room, the single light bulb. The man who thought his life was over, because that photograph reminds him of the truth. Your darkest moment is just one phone call away from changing everything. Michael's story isn't unique. Every day, people lose their jobs, their homes, their families. But every day, people also rise again. The question isn't whether you'll fall. The question is, when you fall, will you get back up? Michael did, and so can you. Because sometimes, all it takes is one phone call, one opportunity, one person who believes in you. One moment of courage to say yes when everything tells you to say no. Your comeback story is waiting. Don't give up. Don't lose hope. Don't let your worst day define your entire life. The phone might ring tomorrow, and when it does, you'll be ready. If this story inspired you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because you never know, your share might be the phone call that changes someone's life. Subscribe to Rise from Pain for more stories of hope, resilience, and second chances. Because everyone deserves a comeback story. Remember, it's not how you fall, it's how you rise.